I'm going to go also across to Divyesh for more details on that story. Divyesh is at the civil hospital, I understand. Vidya also continues to be with us. Divyesh, in fact, give us an idea about how soon are are those who are carrying out the rescue operations essentially trying to retrieve whatever remains really of the bodies of the passengers on that ill-fated flight. When is that process going to get over? Also, the DNA sampling of just so many passengers, that's a process that's going to take some time, isn't it?
Well, regarding the area where the aircraft crashed, that was at the BJ Medical College hostel. It was till late last evening. There were rescue efforts going on. They were searching for bodies. They were searching for remains, and also they managed to pull out late in the night, like post midnight. There was a body that was pulled out of the rubble at the Medical College hostel. Now, as per sources from the Gujarat Police Department and the local administration, there are no more missing people or no more bodies which could be there in the rubble. There's the aircraft which remains over there, the aircraft's tail which remains over there, that needs to be removed. But that will be done only under supervision of DGCA authorities, Airport Authority of India authorities, and especially the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau. So all these officials are already present at the spot, and that is why the recovery of black boxes happened. And as Nagarjun pointed out earlier, that this is a crucial piece of evidence and which will give or bring to light the details of what went wrong in the aircraft, what went wrong in those 30 seconds that led to the crash. So this is a crucial piece of evidence. Earlier there was a DVR that was found, then there was a locator and transmitter that was found, and now the black box has been recovered. So black box is very crucial. It's a very crucial piece of evidence in terms of the air crash investigation, and that will bring to light how this crash happened, what went wrong. Obviously, there are ATC details, but they need to also get the flight recorder, the cockpit recorder, to find out what was the kind of communication, what that happened in those 30 seconds between the two pilots. They gave a Mayday call to ATC. Before the ATC could respond, the crash happened. So what was the Mayday call? Did they point out, did the co-pilot communicate with the co-pilot that there was something wrong? There was no propulsion. How did the plane come down crashing? So that will only be found out with the cockpit recorder and also with the help of the black box, which has now been recovered.
That's right. Be with us, Divyesh. I'm going to go, in fact, back to Preeti once again, who is at the crash site. Preeti, what's the latest that you can share with us? As far as what you see around you, you've of course been tracking that story from the civil hospital as well. But as of now, what is going on? Tell us more.
You know, Sneha, we've moved from the civil hospital right now. We're one of the buildings right behind, one of the very few channels that have been able to find this particular position. And I'll ask my camera person, Sanjay, to actually show you, because what we've been discussing right now in the studio is actually playing right behind me. We saw a lot of action just a short while ago when I showed you lots of officials milling right on top, where the tail end of the Dreamliner is lodged into the mess area of the BJ Hospital hostel, and this was the area. Right now you can see a complete lull in activity, because 10 to 15 minutes ago this was the area from which was pulled out the black box. Now that is going to be the crucial point of information on what exactly went down at about 1:38 p.m. last night. What you can see right behind me is also now an attempt to try and dislodge, the wreckage of the tail end of the aircraft. They were trying to do so to extract the black box, but because of, the impact of the Dreamliner on this particular building, the entire structure, because I was there inside late last night, is rather unstable. And that's also one of the main reasons that even for the investigating officials who are there after the extraction of the black box, they have moved down away from the building, and they're because to extract it they had to move the wreckage and therefore destabilizing the building a little bit as well. So yes, the black box has been found. It's been found from the tail end assembly of the Dreamliner, which you can see lodged right behind me in the mess area of the BJ hospital hostel. And now is, I would reckon, and I'm sure Sneha Naga is also with us, he'll be able to pitch in terms of what this data could actually entail in terms of information, because this would be crucial. It's been one of the rarest of rare tragedies that both the engines of the Dreamliner have faced an aerodynamic stall, which is no thrust, no power, leave alone one, but both engines together. And that is resulted in this mammoth, catastrophic tragedy in Ahmedabad, the worst possibly that India has ever seen. I'm sure Naga can also pitch in. Over to you, Sneha.
That's right. In fact, this is a question that we are exploring right now on whether there was a double engine failure that could have caused this crash. That's something that we want to talk about. Pilot actually issued a Mayday call at 1:39 p.m. yesterday. A Mayday call is typically triggered when both engines fail. Now, in case of single engine failure, pilots can usually divert to the nearest airport. Safe landing actually didn't happen, raising suspicion of complete engine power loss. That's also something that needs to be looked at very closely and something that the investigations will eventually reveal. Also, to tell our viewers, the double engine failure is actually highly unusual and catastrophic. And that's the reason why questions were being raised on how could it happen. Boeing 787 with a good safety record otherwise has in fact led to this crash, or what really has led to this crash. Nagarjun continues to be with us. Nagarjun, the whistleblower from Boeing had essentially flagged off concerns in the past as well involving 787. How did two engines fail if that was the reason for this crash? These are questions that Boeing has to answer eventually, and that's the reason why the investigations will throw light on whether there are actual faults with 787 as flagged off by the whistleblower in the past, isn't it?
Well, that's true. In 2014, a lot of reports have come through
Yes.
whistleblower as to safety issues of the same Dreamliner 787, and there was tough competition with his Airbus competitors 330 and 350 back then. But initially, it was the reports of battery glitch and engine issues. But the same engine, the General Electric engines, are being used on 777. Both 787 and 777s have had terrific track record over the last 10 years, apart from the battery glitches initially, and Boeing rectified it. And since then, it has got good safety record across India. Many world-class airlines use, including Air India, use 787. Like I was saying, double engine failure is highly unlikely, one in a billion or one in a trillion situation. The aircrafts are such sophisticated, both Boeing and Airbus. Sneha, even if the pilot wants to crash it wantedly or even with purpose, the aircraft sends back a message that it won't. Even if the pilot pushes the stick down, putting the nose towards the ground, the aircraft system automatically takes over and ensures that the plane doesn't go to the ground. That's the sophistication system that we are talking about. And if it has really happened that both engines have failed, or is it because of bird hit, or it was because of manual miscommunication? Instead of putting the wheels up, did the co-pilot push the flaps back on? That's the big angle that the investigative agency will be looking at, because during takeoff we always take flaps either to 25, 30, or 10 or 5 degrees. What are flaps? Flaps are something like extra panels on the wing which creates or gives you more air wing width, so that the lift is increased when during the takeoff. And
Right.
usually flaps are rolled back at 10,000, 12,000 after you have reached certain altitude, because it's not safe reducing the wingspan initial takeoff. So if the captain told the co-pilot to pull the wheels back up, did the co-pilot pull the flaps back up? All these angles will have to be looked into, but seemed like it's unlikely, because both these pilots had tremendous experience flying the same plane. Remember, they're not they were not flying different plane. On the same plane, they've had experience. So unlikely that a small error like this would have happened. But only Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau can come up with the exact reasons and why, if they've lost power and why both engines failed. That's the big question mark as of today.
Well, absolutely. Nagarjun, I'm going to come back to you in a moment from now as far as the investigations are concerned.